forced to address their cash for gas corruption scandal, and it was pretty pathetic.
Did I make a mistake based upon some unethical lapse? Absolutely not.
My son did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong.
Tired of the lies.
Joe, your son was paid at least $50,000 a month to be on the board of Ukraine's largest natural gas producer while you were running Ukraine's foreign policy and pushing them to pump more gas. We learned this week that a State Department official overseeing Ukraine policy raised concerns in early 2015 about Hunter Biden's Burisma position, but he was blown off by a Biden staffer. Joe Biden says he did nothing wrong. What? He met with Burisma board member Devon Archer in April 2014. 2 days later, his son Hunter joined the company. Burisma then paid $90,000 to lobbyist David Leiter, who in that same period gave almost $60,000
in Washington.
4 donations to Senator Ed Markey, 3 donations to Senator Jeanne Shaheen, and another 3 to Senator Richard Blumenthal. All 3 Democrat senators pushed for U.S. taxpayer aid to Ukraine's energy sector. And with Joe Biden supervising and later bragging about his ability to control the aid flows, the federal government cleaned it out.
Quid pro Joe.
Cash and corruption. While Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma, Joe Biden presided over 3 separate billion-dollar loan guarantees from U.S. taxpayers to Ukraine.
1.8 billion come up missing. That's why they wanted to
Senators Markey and
investigate
Blumenthal,
Burisma.
another $50 million towards Ukraine's energy industry. And according to U.S. aid records from 2014 to 2016, the United States gave roughly another $1 billion to Ukraine in foreign aid. U.S. aid was the agency handing out this cash. So, of course, Hunter Biden's Burisma set about sucking up to them. Not that hard when your last name is Biden and your dad is running Ukraine policy. So let's get to the heart of this scandal. We need to know how much U.S. taxpayer money went to Burisma during the time that Hunter Biden was on the board and Joe Biden
Tell
was
them
in charge.
about the 1.8 billion that come up missing.
But it could also be in the billions.
Yeah.
We don't know and we need to know. That's why we need an investigation. And yes, that's why it has to involve the Ukraine government.
Yes,
We've started the process with the Freedom of Information request, and of course, we'll update you on anything we find. But if there's anyone watching who can help get this information, I hope they do so. We need to get to the bottom of the Biden-Ukraine cash for gas scandal. All right, with reaction, Fox News legal analyst and author of the new book, Witch Hunt, the story of the greatest mass delusion in American political history, Greg Jarrett. You saw him last week. He's back this week. I suspect we'll want to see you almost every week while all this craziness is going on. But Greg, tonight I'd love you just to focus on this, the gas bit, the cash for gas as I call it. Sure. In particular, that money flow from Burisma to the lobbyist David Leiter, who as I've told our audience before, was actually John Kerry's former chief of staff. And then thousands of dollars going to Democrat senators who then introduce legislation and push the federal government to do policy changes which benefit Burisma. On its face, that looks like it's obviously unethical and swampy. Is there
we need term limits. We need lobbyists kicked the freak out of Washington.
It could be a violation of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, honest services fraud, conspiracy, and bribery.
Yeah.
Washington is a cesspool of corruption, and it often involves foreign corporations and foreign
Drain the swamp. That's why nobody likes Trump, and the media is lying their butts off about it.
Self-enrichment. The difficulty is that many of our laws are not strong enough. I'll give you an example. Senator Bob Menendez federally indicted on corruption. It was pretty obvious, and yet there was a hung jury. They couldn't decide, and thus a mistrial. You almost have to have
change of jurisdiction, get him the hell out of Washington for trials, or New York.
As in the Governor Rod Blagojevich case in which he was convicted. He was heard
judges are just as corrupt. Thank you, freaking Obama.
In Illinois. So we need to toughen up our laws, maybe create better laws, and we need laws. You heard Joe Biden say, my son did nothing wrong, I did nothing wrong. Well, we don't know. It needs to be investigated. And it may turn out that it wasn't illegal, but you know what? It should be, and we need new laws to make it illegal.
Thank you. I mean, I think that's, and this is why people are so frustrated, because they see all this going on. They say, well, hang on a second, can't we do something about it? The other thing they get frustrated
the other half have their eyes
is
closed and don't want to see it.
very one-sided. You've covered this so thoroughly in the context of the Russia hoax, the first book from last year, but here too, there feels like some injustice here, in the sense that those associates of Rudy Giuliani have been arrested. That was all over the news last week, or was it the week before? And what they're accused of doing, which is basically taking foreign money and sort of laundering it somehow, and it ends up over here supporting political campaigns. That's basically what went on here with Burisma and ended up in the bank accounts of those Democratic senators. And where's the investigation into that?
Oh, you're absolutely. There needs to be an investigation of that. Look, foreign corporations, foreign governments are not allowed to contribute to U.S. campaigns or to U.S. politicians. What they do to get around it, to circumvent it, is they give the money to an American company.
George Soros.
And that company then buys influence. You identify
George
the
Soros.
three senators. That's how they get around the laws. But it is unequal. In my book, I write extensively about Hillary Clinton's corruption. $145 million, excuse me, that went into the coffers of her foundation, which she used as her personal piggy bank. At the same time, she's presiding over a committee that allows the sale of 20% of American uranium to that very Russian company from which the $145 million came.
Oh, I know, you've just enraged
please get back in the
again
race.
by reminding us of that. Greg, thank you so much. It's great to see you. As I say, I hope we'll see a lot of you, because you're so brilliant at explaining all this,
Thank you.
Both the legal and the political side. We really appreciate it. See you soon.
Thank you.